Hi, everybody. Welcome and thank you for coming to listen to our story today. My name is Melanie Hurley, and this is Mindy Bond, RN.
And we wish we could be there today, but we're not.
So instead, we're going to tell you our story. So my story starts about 17 and a half years ago. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life before Juice Plus, or as I lovingly call them, my magic beans. So I'm a grandma. I was not at the time, but I am a wife to Mike, my gorgeous husband, have three beautiful children. Here's the oldest. And 17 and a half years ago, I had a baby late in life. And at the same time, what was happening is that I was watching my parents go into the degenerative disease state. And I pretty quickly lost my dad to diabetes and then my mom to Alzheimer's. And nobody should ever have to go through that with a loved one. And I don't want you to have to go through that. So I was sitting there thinking, I've got this cute little boy with the curly hair and the blue eyes. And if I do what they did, I'm going to get what they got. And that's not going to work out for me because I want to watch my grandchildren grow up. I wanted to watch this little boy grow up, first of all. And so it was kind of a health crisis for me. Now, for my own self, I had been trying to lose weight for decades, and it was a constant struggle because I had a disconnect. I thought the health was all about the number on the scale and the size I was wearing. I mean, I knew the fruits and vegetables made me look prettier, but I just didn't get it. I had excruciating insomnia, just hardly ever slept. I got all the colds and flus that came along in the winter, and Mindy has always called me the queen of strep.
It's true.
So lots of times I would get strep or bronchitis and then be on antibiotics, and that was wrecking my gut. And I didn't understand anything about that back then, which is okay. But then what happened was my aunt called me, the phone rang, and she told me about this brand new thing. It was powdered produce in a capsule. And I thought she was nuts. It sounded like Jetson food or something. And it didn't make any sense to me. But what made sense to me was that my aunt was healthier than all of her siblings, including my mom, and that I had been praying for an answer, and maybe this was it. So I started taking it, and within one season, I was sleeping again, and I had a lot more energy. And who doesn't want more energy? That's the best thing of all. And what else? Oh, I went through probably the first winter of my life without a cold or flu that I didn't get it. So it couldn't turn into strep or bronchitis. Therefore, I didn't take any antibiotics and I was feeling really good. And everybody around me started noticing it and asking me what I was doing. And so it's kind of cool because I still wasn't really connecting the dots. I'm guessing Mindy will tell you more about that later. But the cool thing is that everybody around me was connecting the dots for me. They were helping me because people were watching changes take place. My skin was looking so much better. And I had all this energy and I had just like come back to life. And people were noticing that. And people were stopping me in the neighborhood and at church and asking me questions and wanting to know where they could get it. So I did become an affiliate for the Juice Plus company. Let's see, almost 17 years ago. And I did that because my mom was watching me and seeing my energy and she wanted to take it. So people started jumping on and taking it with me, and things started happening to them, which also blew my mind. I saw so many things happen and so many lives be changed that I did begin to get excited about it. And I know for me, I guess I should fill in the blanks for the rest of the years. I also had debilitating back pain from a fall I had experienced in my 30s. And I can tell you that now about 95% of that was gone. And, there is significant arthritis going on in my back, and Juice Plus decreases inflammation, and I feel so much better. I did get off thyroid meds along the way. I can't tell you it will do any of this for you. We should say that we can't make any health claims, nor would we want to. I'm not a health professional. Mindy is, so she can speak to that a little bit more. However, the cool thing is, the exciting thing is, when you put all of these fruits and vegetables in your body, we know something good is going to happen, and it might not look what happened to me, but it'll look really good. So, like I said, I kind of accidentally became an affiliate for the company because my mom wanted to get it, and other people started jumping on because they liked what they were seeing in me, even though I didn't still get the power of fruits and veggies. And so here I am 17 years later. Oh my goodness. So in the beginning, my paycheck to me looked like, well, hey, I have money to contribute to the family budget. And my husband was a high school teacher, and we were a one income family. So, he provided it for us very well, and we were very happy. But we didn't have money for extra things, like especially vacations and things like that. So it wasn't very long before we could afford for me to buy tickets for everybody to fly to California at the same time. We'd never done that before unless family helped us. And we went to Disneyland. It was so cool. And then we went on a beach trip, and great things just continued to happen. And then a really cool thing that happened because of lives being changed and my paycheck going up is I was able to pay for a great deal of my son's college education. That cute little boy I told you about with the curly blonde hair and the blue eyes. So I helped him all the way through college, and now he's married and doing great. So that was really cool. And now here we are 17 years later, and my Juice Plus income has helped us to move from the Chicago area to Allen, Texas, in the Dallas area. And it's paying for our dream house. So, along with the fact that I get to give back, one of my favorite ministries that I give back to is Pure Hope Foundation. If you want to look it up, they restore women who have been trafficked. And I love that ministry, and I love giving to that. So I have more money to give away, and that just does my heart really good. So many amazing things have happened, but who knew that fruits and vegetables could do all that? Now I get it, and I shout it from the rooftop. Fruits and vegetables change lives. So I want you to hear more of the story from Mindy Bond, RN. Take it away.
All right. Well, like she said, this all started 17 years ago. And at the time, I was in nursing school. I was still living at home. And, I had grown up watching her struggle with energy and struggle with weight and struggle with illness. Not big illnesses. We just thought it was normal, but, routine illness most of every winter. Um, and so her aunt called. She started taking these magical little capsules. She was the guinea pig for the family, so she was the only one taking it. And over the course of that fall and winter, she started feeling better. Like she said, way more energy. She just, we joke now that she's like the Energizer Bunny. And that's not how she was.
I kind of drive them nuts a little bit.
And so
We should probably tell them how old I am.
Oh, yes.
I'm 64 years old. I'm about to be a full-fledged senior citizen.
It's true.
How about that?
Yes. So I'm in nursing school, and I'm starting to get sicker and sicker as she's starting to get healthier and healthier, because I had been living off of vending machine food and coffee. And turns out that doesn't work very well. So in case you ever wondered, can you sustain life on coffee and peanut M&Ms? You, in fact, cannot. I tried and failed. So I got to my Thanksgiving break that year of school, and I slept 90 of 96 hours. My body was like, you're done. Go to bed. We're not functioning anymore. And she's like bouncing around, making Thanksgiving dinner, feeling great. And I'm like, this is backwards. This is not right. And so when it came time for her Juice Plus to ship again, because it ships in a 4-month supply, because on average it takes about 4 months for our body to make new cells. And so, I start taking Juice Plus today. Tomorrow, I'm probably not going to feel different because I have all the same cells I did yesterday that were built without all that stellar nutrition. And so it takes time for things to heal and it takes time for new cells to be built. And so that's why it ships in a 4-month supply. Plus, it helps with the cost of packaging and shipping and all of that. So when it came time for her next box to ship 4 months in, she came to me and she was like, "It's dumb. It's not doing anything. I'm going to cancel it." And I was like,
Well,
"Excuse
the
me?"
number on the scale had not gone down yet.
Therefore, it wasn't working.
It was dumb.
And I was like, so when's the last time you took a nap? And she's like, "I don't know." I was like, "When's the last time you were up in the middle of the night?" Because when she says she had bad insomnia, not kidding. We all knew the signs. There'd be the cup of half consumed tea and the blankets and the book she was reading or her Bible or both. And you knew that she was up in the middle of the night. And that meant you didn't wake her up in the morning because she might have just gone to bed. She might have been up the whole night. So I was like, "When's the last time you've been up in the middle of the night?" She was like, "I don't know. Why?"
And can I just say, it made me feel so guilty. I was a homeschool mom. I'm a homeschool veteran of 20 years. And it just made me feel guilty. I was not being the kind of wife and mom that I really wanted to be. And so I just felt bad all the time. I wanted to be your mama, not asleep when you were awake, right?
But you were doing the best you could.
Mm-hmm.
And so then she hadn't been up in the night. She wasn't napping. She hadn't been sick at all that winter at all. And I was like, "What do you think made all those things happen? And don't you think that fruit and vegetable stuff has something to do with it?" And her answer was,
That's dumb. What does that have to do with fruits and vegetables?
and
I didn't get it.
And I thought I had presented this really compelling case of, look at all these things that have changed, and this was the only variable that had changed. And I was approaching it with this very scientific background. And she was like, "No, it's dumb. It's not doing anything." And I was like, "So what made all those things change?" And she was like, "I don't know." And so it was the first time it was like a role reversal because I think I was 19. So I was coming out of the teenage years and I maybe wasn't the most delightful teenager ever. And so it was this role reversal where I was kind of parental and she was kind of teenager. And she was like, "Why are you asking me these stupid questions?" And I was like, "I think you need to keep taking that stuff. I think it did all that. Also, could I have some? Because I'm really sick. Help."
Which was a bummer because I just went from getting rid of an expense to doubling it because now I'm going to buy 2 boxes
because she's a nice mom.
instead of, I can't say no to that face. Seriously.
So the second box came for her, the first box came for me, and we never went back. And that's when she became an affiliate shortly after that, because who doesn't love a Costco membership where you get it, whatever you want to buy at the best possible price? And so it just made sense to her. And then I continued taking Juice Plus. I didn't get sick the rest of nursing school, which was great because nursing school
then makes me feel like a good mama.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. And then you had more energy to be a good mom. And it just, things began to change. And so I finished nursing school. I started my job as a pediatric nurse. Anyone who's been a pediatric nurse or a teacher would tell you new nurses and teachers get sick a lot the first year. I like to joke I get coughed and sneezed and puked on for a living, which is not really an exaggeration. I almost got puked on yesterday. But anyway,
fun time.
Yeah. So I started as a new nurse and I didn't really get sick. I got a couple of stomach bugs and that was it. I didn't get any respiratory stuff that winter. Stuff gets passed around the nurse's station and I was fine. And pretty soon, a year or 2 in, my coworkers start saying, "How come you never get sick? Like, we'll all pass stuff around and you're fine. Why is that?" So I guess it's this fruit and vegetable stuff I've been taking. It seems to really make a difference. And they're like, "Well, can I have some? Where do I get it?" And so in the meantime, she had been growing her business and really taking advantage of both the income opportunity and the fun of making an impact on the world. And I was like, no, I'm good. I like my job. I want no part of that. Nope. Once in a while, she'd be like, hey, I'm going to conference. It's going to be in Southern California. It's going to be super fun. You should come. And I'm like, no. So, but then my coworkers started wanting it. And I was like, well, I guess you better sign me up. I'm not going to really do it though. I'm just going to tell my coworkers about it. And so my coworkers started taking it. They start feeling better. And then I meet this cute boy. His name is Dave. We've now been married for 7 years, but his whole family started taking it and just dramatic things healing and changing. His mom's hair was falling out. She had a terrible skin condition, and that started resolving, and acne started resolving. And his sister's Crohn's went into remission, and she got off of all of her meds and was able to carry a healthy pregnancy to term, which she hadn't been able to before. And I mean, the list just goes on and on. And what I love about it is modern medicine says these things are chronic. Hypothyroid, chronic. You can't get off those meds. But with several years of stellar nutrition, she did.
We should really tell that story.
Yeah.
It's just so
one.
good. Okay. We digress.
Yes.
So I was on thyroid meds and I didn't understand that that's considered chronic and a lifetime med. And I was taking care of my mom with Alzheimer's, and I was just so crazy busy because I was growing a business and I was homeschooling my kids and I was taking care of my mom. And all of a sudden one day I found my thyroid meds back in the back behind a lot of other stuff that I wasn't using anymore, because I didn't get sick anymore. And I panicked. By this point, Mindy had, moved out, and I called her one day and said, oh my gosh, what have I done? I've gone like,
oh no.
I was like, what have I done to my body? I'm so scared. It's been like an entire season. And, because I looked at the date and I counted the pills and I was like, oh boy, I'm in trouble. And so she just told me to, take a breath and get my blood work done and let's just see.
Because in my head, I'm going, she doesn't have any symptoms of hypothyroidism. If she really needed those meds and wasn't taking them, she should have symptoms by now. Mm-hmm. So let's check your levels.
So we did. And so I went to the doctor to get the results and everything. And she walked in the office and she walks up to me, a really cool doctor. I love her. And she walks up to me and she kind of leans over and she whispers, you don't need that medication. Stop taking it. So I thought, well, cool. Okay. But then I went home and I called Mindy and I said, why was she whispering? I mean, first of all, isn't it cool that my levels are normal and I don't need that medication anymore? Like, why would that happen? And why was she whispering? Those are my two questions.
She was like, that's weird. I said, she's whispering because modern medicine would tell you that's impossible. Your thyroid can't be healed. It doesn't start producing the TSH and things that it's supposed to be producing once it stops. Modern medicine would tell you that's impossible. And yet it happened. And so she's telling you that because she shouldn't ever tell someone to come off of their thyroid meds because they should need them forever. And so it's amazing when we fuel our bodies properly, the things that sometimes heal when given the proper nutrition. And so it's just so cool that as we reduce inflammation, and it improves cardiovascular health, and it improves dental health, and it improves skin density and circulation. And when all of those things are happening in our body, it makes sense that sometimes that's going to heal things. If it has better circulation and less inflammation, that gives some things a chance to heal.
Who knew fruits and vegetables did all that?
Right?
I didn't.
Right? And then fast forward a few years, Dave and I get married. And he had been on an antidepressant for many years. He had tried to come off of it several times, and his body needed it. He struggled too much. And so Enter Juice Plus, he took it for a while and was feeling better. And he was like, I'm going to try to cut my dose down. And so he cut his dose in half and still felt good. He tried to go off all the way and his body said no. So for about a year, he was on a half dose, and that was a big win. And then a year or so later, he added in the plant-based omegas because they released those. They didn't used to exist. And after about a season of taking those, he came off his meds altogether, and that was 6 years ago, and he's never gone back. So, I mean, it's just so cool the things that nutrition can heal. And that's why I got excited about the income opportunity because I can make good money as a nurse, but I can't heal people in the hospital the way I can with fruits and vegetables. And it's way more fun to prevent problems and fix them on the front end than to fix broken people in the ER all day because so much of what I see in the emergency room could be prevented if parents knew better, but they don't. Their doctors don't. Nobody's telling them. They're doing the best they can. But we see so much constipation, so many broken bones, so much asthma, and some of those could be prevented. Not all. I don't think I'm ever going to work myself out of a job as in all the kids in the world are healthy, but I think we could be a whole lot less busy if the world knew about nutrition.
That is really cool.
Yes.
I love that.
So now I'm only working 2 days a week instead of 3. I cut my hours down to part-time as my business grows, and I love the impact we're making on the world.
I love that. It's so fun. I mean, talk about impact. Like you said, I really liked when you said that our world thinks it's normal to be sick. Um, and when I was going to the doctor in the beginning and asking about aches and pains and things going on, that's what they would say. We're just getting older. So that's accepted. And after 17 and a half years doing this, I don't accept it anymore. I don't think that sick is normal. And I don't think we have to put up with that. So we come to you today to offer you hope. We just really want to offer you the hope that you don't have to necessarily be as sick as you are. Some of it can be prevented, and we don't really know how much of what's going on with you has to do with nutrition until we get that in place. And we've got the easiest way in the world, a 10-second habit to take 2 fruit, 2 veggie, 2 berry, and 2 plant-based omega capsules, and hopefully also shake up a shake. And you've gotten over 50 plants in your body. And can you imagine if you put those 50 plants in your body every single day for a year? Do you not think your body would get real happy? Because I can tell you that mine shouts glory, hallelujah. And I want that for you. And I want that for everybody else. So sometimes I think, what if I didn't say yes to my aunt that day? And what if I didn't say yes to the opportunity to get that reoccurring income that we have? So many people would have so many more issues. I stutter because we don't exactly know. You don't miss a cold or a flu that you didn't get. I didn't that winter. I didn't even notice it. And your body doesn't send you a memo every day or once a week or once a month or once a season to say, oh, guess what? We prevented cancer today.
Right?
Can I tell you that Juice Plus will prevent cancer? No, I cannot. I cannot tell you that at all. But I know that fruits and vegetables are powerful and that God made them to help us live the most vibrant lives possible. And that's what I want for you, vibrant life. So that's why we call our business the Vibrant Life Project. So thanks for listening to our story today. We're so excited for you. I hope that something in here was an encouragement to you. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so. Have fun with Megan.
Okay, have a great day. Bye-bye.